Hello, everybody. My name is Irene, and if you're brand new here, welcome to True Crimes by Irene. So, guys, in this channel, I create videos predominantly for those who are interested in true crime stories as well as victims of crimes. I equally make videos to create awareness in order to prevent future reoccurrences of crimes. Now, let's listen to the story of Andreen MacDonald. So to kick off with, I'm going to throw a little bit of light on who Andreen was. Andreen MacDonald was a beautiful Jamaican lady who was brought over to the United States by her captain husband, Andreen MacDonald. So it is said that Andreen MacDonald met Andreen in Jamaica where he went over for a funeral service. And their love just pack up. That kind of love at first sight. So in the month of July, they got married and Dream moved over to the United States to join her husband, who was a captain in the U.S. military. So, prior to all the problems in the marriage, they had this wonderful marriage, romantic, they were just making their parents proud. So, when Andreen moved over to the United States, she attended UTER, where she had a degree, and immediately after graduation, the both ventured into an assisted home business, which was called Starlight Homes. It is said that Starlight Homes thrived, and this young couple became millionaires within a twinkle of an eye. So, while they were very successful in their business, from time to time they always have argument as to who is the brain behind Starlight. Well, Andrew said that he was the one who invested in this business. He even had to sell off his car and empty his bank account. And the wife is also, on the other hand, saying that she worked hard to make sure the business is thriving. So this both been, having some debate on who is the brain behind this business. Okay, so fast forward. In the year 2019, in the month of February, Andreen MacDonald did not show up for work, and that was not unlike her. She is said to have a very, strong regimen or a regular routine which she follows daily. She goes to the gym early in the morning at about 5:30, and at about 8:30 she's already at work. But on this particular day, nobody saw her. She never showed up for work. So one of her workers decided to place a call over to her friend Caroline, who tried to, reach out to her but to no avail, and decided to call her husband Andrew. So when Caroline placed a call over to Andrew, all attempts met with dead ends, so she decided to go over to her friend's home to find out for herself what's actually wrong with her. So when she got there, she saw a pile of clothes that were being burned that were not completely burned, because she saw Andreen's zipper, and she was wondering why they were burning up clothes, guys. So when she went into the house, she noticed blood on the light switch. Now that is a danger sign. So she decided to call Andreen's mother and asked her to, she decided to pick her up, and they both came to the house. While the police were on their way, Andrew met the two ladies at his residence and told them that he hasn't seen the wife since last night. They had some misunderstanding and they both went to separate rooms. And when he got up early that morning, he took their daughter to school and he went to work at landmark where he works. So he told them that the wife has been complaining of migraine lately, and he's gonna check her. He's gonna check her in any of the neighboring hospitals. So he left the ladies and went over to the hospital. When he got there at the receptionist, he asked if any MacDonald has been there. So he used his first name, not the complete names of his wife. And the receptionist said, confirmed that yeah, there is a MacDonald here. And guys, do you know what this guy did? He just went back home with the excuse that he left his sons at home and he want to go tell his mother-in-law that he has found his wife. But later on, when the police came over, the police deputy placed a call over to the hospital who said that, yeah, there was actually a lady here bearing the name MacDonald, but it's not Andreen MacDonald, it was another black lady. So that was when everything turned sour, guys. And you know, when a spouse is victim, the other spouse, when the spouse is missing, the other spouse becomes the prime suspect. So the police saw this blood, but then they didn't have enough evidence to apprehend Andrew, and so they decided to take him over to the station for questioning. So when Andrew got there, he just said they had misunderstanding the previous night and both went to separated rooms, and so he was sent back home. But then a few days later, he was being caught purchasing ammunition at a shop, and so one of the police who was watching over their home placed a call to the deputy who came over with his guys, and they arrested him because they were suspecting he's gonna take away his life. So when they got back home, they decided to place him under house arrest. So fast forward, it was said that a farmer placed a call over to the police. So guys, 5 months later to the disappearance of Andreen MacDonald, a farmer placed a call over to the police that he found a dead body on his property. So the police immediately went over to this property, but this body was completely destroyed. And after forensic check, it was said that this was actually Andreen MacDonald's body, guys. They immediately arrested her husband, but due to the COVID, he was being placed under house arrest. While further investigation was being taken to know the cause of her death, it was said that they couldn't have enough facts because her dead body was completely destroyed. Her bones were damaged. Mind you, this guy ignited this body, and so she was burned, I think, almost 90%. So they couldn't come out with the actual cause of her death, but it was declared that it was a homicide. 3 days prior to the trial of Andrew MacDonald, guys,
was an accident.
He looked at me and he said, "Mom, I'm going to tell you the truth." And he started to cry.
3 days, guys, 3 days to the trial of Andrew MacDonald. He made a confession to his mother. He said, "Mom," in quotes, "I did it." The mother was shocked. "What did you do?" He said, "I killed Andreen." And the mother was so disappointed. The mother was like, "What happened?" He said, "I'm going to confess everything." On the 28th of February, he said they went to the tax office to, file in their tax. And when they got there, he discovered that his wife, Andreen, has established a new property in her name from the money they had in their joint account.
Here on this form, it says there's a business plan going forward under a land and property management, which I knew nothing about, and immediately I just knew she was stealing from me.
Before then, they have been having some marital problems where Andreen had gone once to Jamaica to rekindle with her ex-boyfriend. And at one time, when the husband came back home from base because he was working in another place, he noticed the wife had drawn two new tattoos. And when he did a thorough investigation, he found the same tattoos on her ex-boyfriend's chest. So he decided to file for a divorce, but the wife, being scared of losing 50% of the property, which is the policy in the state of Texas, decided to, get along with her husband, and her husband asked her to cover up those tattoos and promise never to go to Jamaica without him. So they have been having these, cheating issues coming from Andreen's side. And when the husband discovered her trying to establish a new property without his, idea, he felt so betrayed, and he said he was so scared that the wife was gradually transferring everything that belonged to him in her name and would definitely kill her in the end. That is what he claimed to believe in. So he became so furious, and they went back home quarreling. And so when they got back home, he decided to go out to cool off, hoping that by the time he's getting back home, the wife must have fell asleep. But guys, when he got back home, it was the opposite. The wife was seated on the couch waiting for him, and she was ready for a fight. So when Andrew got back home, like he said on this day, he told the wife, tomorrow after work, I'm going to go downtown to file for a divorce. And the wife became so agitated and told him that the wife became so agitated and started raining insult on him. Everything escalated when she spat on the husband's face. Guys, that was the limit. The husband has had it up to a year, and he decided to scratch her. So when Andreen touched her face, she noticed blood was oozing from her face, which he claimed to be the blood on the light switch. She retaliated. She came back to attack the husband. The husband, on the other hand, had to defend himself by fighting back. And that was when Andreen fell on the floor. When she fell on the floor, immediately the husband heard footsteps coming from upstairs. That was their daughter, Elena. And so he decided to run back to put her back to sleep. By the time he came back, Andreen was not breathing. She was dead. And so, in order to conceal this, hindrance act, he decided to wrap her up in garbage bag and took her over to the field, guys. And the next day, this guy purchased, fuel when they burnt her corpse. He said he was so mad because she was a reason why all this happened. She was a reason why he killed her. Yes, it is true that Andreen has been cheating on the husband. Yes, it is true that she established a new property without the husband's knowledge. And yes, it is true that she was an ungrateful wife. But then that is not still enough reason for the husband to murder her. He would have done it. He would have looked for a better way out. He would have got the laws, the authorities involved. Yes, he said he was going to file for divorce. Why didn't he do that? He had to, he had to let anger control him. Guys, like I keep saying, we should have self-control over ourselves, because most often a lot of people lose self-control and end up doing what they are not supposed to do. There is a lot to be learned, especially from us women who are the vulnerable sex. Now, if a man gets married to you, sponsor you, train you in school, the least you can do is to be faithful to them, respect them, appreciate this, especially when you guys don't have any problem. But for you to cheat on this man when you both are married is a no-no for me. It's a no-no. If you think like you have fall out of love, the best thing for you to do is to walk out of this marriage, and then you can begin a new relationship, because everyone is wired differently. You might do this with some men and you go scot-free, but another man will react differently, just like what Andrew did. He went ahead to kill the wife, But if the wife didn't cheat on him and decided to file for a divorce, go out and then, start dating her ex-boyfriend, it would have been a total ball game entirely. But no, what did she do? She started cheating on the man right in that home. As a matter of fact, she even told the man at one point that when he gets back to Texas from where he was working, he should pack out of the house. Girl, are you kidding me? A house that this man and the lady purchased, he is the one who He's the one who sponsored this business, and you want to send him out of the house for no good reason? So, after all this, a verdict was being passed over, and they said that and Andrew was being tried for self-defense, guys, because the cops were so destroyed that they couldn't get enough evidence of what actually happened, what actually caused her death. But this was typically manslaughter, that you see, because Andreen is not there to defend herself, to speak for herself. That is what the verdict says. Please, ladies, protect yourself. If a man is good to you, the simple thing you can do is for you to be good in return to him. I know sometimes people fall out of love, but if you think you're in that stage where you can no longer stay in the marriage, walk out in peace. I mean, take a kind walk. Take a quiet walk. Take a peaceful walk. And when you're out of this marriage, maybe you should even give yourself some time before you get into a new relationship. Not everyone, treats cheating with kindness. So guys, see you on my next video. And if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, press on the notification bell for you to be notified whenever I upload a new video. For now, goodbye. Love you guys. Ciao.